Alright, so new Latto and Doja Cat music video came out, huh? Hey fellas, stay focused. Go read your Bible or something. You got summer school, go to bed, you got a project to finish. You gotta go to the gym still, so put the lotion down, it's not worth it. Focus. Hey look, I get it. I'm with y'all, but stay focused, bro. You got a mission. Don't let this deter you, man. Stay strong. I'm looking at you.
Like, it's giving underlying tones of like colorism to me.
Hello worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. Today I'm so excited. I want to talk about this new music video for the song Okay. This is Latto or Mulatto, whatever you want to call her, featuring Doja Cat. People have so many things to say. I actually started taking notes for this video, which sometimes I just go off the dome, but today I have so much to talk about, where I have some clips that I want to put in. We have comments, we have a lot, so let's just get right to it. So
let me know if I'm being too woke, but is it not weird that like if majority, if not all of the men in Latto and Doja Cat's Okay music video are like all dark skinned? I don't know, that visual is kind of like, I'm not perceiving it well. We got two biracial women in the forefront, in the spotlight, in the center, and literally everybody else around them is a dark-skinned black man. And I don't know, for me, it's just a little weird one because Doja, you don't even date black men. Like, you do not date you don't have anything to do with black men at all. Why are we having that portrayed as your love interest for real? But like, every last nigga in the video is a dark-skinned man. I don't know, like, it's just, it's not sitting well with me. It like, the concept of the music video is cute, but it's just like, what are you trying to like, it's giving underlying tones of like colorism to me.
Surprised that Doja Cat and Latto linked up to make a biracial supremacy music video. I'm not. Our colorist queen Latto, whose entire identity is literally centered around being the biracial preference for black men, specifically dark-skinned men. We have the anti-black white supremacist phenomenon. Doja Cat whole identity and image is centered around being something that black men can desire but never have. Them doing them fucking biracial body rolls, half naked, literally the entire fucking video, while simultaneously not saying a fuck ass thing. I mean, what do we expect? Genuinely not surprised, because I've been telling y'all there is a biracial light-skinned agenda within hip-hop, inside the media entertainment sector, wants to continuously uphold biracial skinned women as the beauty standard and the standard for desire inside the black community, simultaneously upholding toxic black hypermasculinity. Their purpose do the black super soldiers play inside that music video? I mean, what the fuck did that have to do with anything? I'm not surprised at all, because Doja Cat is notorious for doing this. I always think about her music video Streets with Kobe, whatever his name is. I made a YouTube video about this years ago. Let me know if y'all want me to unarchive it. These girls have been playing into this trope of light-skinned biracial desire for far too long now, specifically Latto, while simultaneously being a talentless hack. Baby girl, at this point, just give it a rest. Her entire brand is desirability. Quite literally has nothing else going for her. Now, Doja Cat, on the other hand, it's a little more disappointing, because Doja Cat is actually a genuine fucking talent within this space. But her anti-blackness literally precedes her in everything she fucking does. It's genuinely so disappointing. I know that Doja Cat is much, much, much smarter than Latto. When I see Doja Cat doing shit like this, when she knows for once she has zero interest in really being associated with black culture like that at this point, right? Because I think she teeters back and forth. She knows it's where her bread and butter is, because she's not actually really respected or appreciated in a purely pop space. This is where she gets that bag, and she done told us multiple times that participating in R&B and hip-hop is really just about money for her. So shame on her. I hate people who exploit black culture and they really have no respect for it. She's basically Cardi B. Except it's actually worse because she is half black. Imagine hating your people so much. Like, I just don't get it. Just genuinely infuriating. This agenda.
This song came out recently. This is Latto's album. Mind you, Latto, she's a biracial female rapper, and she has been famous since the rap game. Even before then, she was already doing shows in Atlanta or around Georgia, I believe. And so now fast forward to today, 2026, she had her daughter recently with 21 Savage, and she dropped an album, I want to say, was it like right after she had the baby or before she had the baby, something like that. I have not listened to the full album. I've heard some tracks because obviously they're trending audios, once the songs pick up, and I have been hearing the song okay. It sounds pretty okay to me. I didn't watch the music video, but it's very interesting to hear. I have to watch it. I'm going to watch it today and probably listen to the whole album. But a few things that I noticed was throughout these clips, I see this woman who's basically back to the whole argument of Latto's name in the first place, basically saying that it was wrong of her to be calling herself mulatto previously, and basically saying that that term stands for being desirable to Black men, which just goes to show what we've been talking about for a while now, that they don't really care about colorism. They care a lot more about desirability in the eyes of the male gaze, because the term mulatto, and the reason that she was calling herself that was not, I'm calling myself Latto because dark-skinned men like me. Like, that was not what it is. She grew up with her family in an area and in a time where that was a common term. Like, she didn't just look up that term and figure out that that's what that means. A lot of people, they show their monoculturalism when it comes to certain things, because when you're multicultural, you would know that this is a term that has been used, and it's not always used in a derogatory way. There are many people who that is just kind of how they speak, depending on who you're talking to, and that is how they refer to those people, and how they, highlight that they have both identities. Not everybody is going to use the word mix. Not everybody is going to describe, specific, whatever it is. In certain parts of the United States, people still use that term, and they're not using it in a derogatory way. And you're going out of your way to be offended by the term, and you're going out of your way to basically make it seem like a disingenuous thing that she was calling herself that, which it's such a if you give a mouse a cookie thing with the unambiguous dark-skinned Black community, because with many of them, it's like Latto already changed her name like a long time ago. And I remember being so frustrated when she changed her name, because I remember knowing, like, this is not going to be good enough. The fact that, like, you might as well have just kept the old name, because, I mean, me personally, I like the, new shift that she went into with her branding, like the tie to the lottery. I think it was a nice, graceful shift, but at the same time, she was not trying to say that that's what that means. And I think, this creator is more so one of the people who is triggered by people's preferences, and they take those preferences to be, a gateway into talking about colorism. And it's the same way people virtue signal. Nobody wants to be called, that they're, homophobic. Nobody wants to be called transphobic. Nobody wants to be called racist. Nobody wants to be called one of these terms. And many people, it's a very cheap way to try to win an argument, or to try to get your way, to emotionally manipulate people in their sense of wanting to come off as a good person. Nobody wants to come off that way. And in 2026, you have so many people who have bullied their, fellow community members, their fellow people in the world, into feeling like they can't even express a disagreement or an opinion of anything, because it's not that they actually fit the criteria to be placed under this label of being racist or being colorist or being, homophobic, but it's that people know it's an inflammatory word, and nobody, we live in the day and age of like streaming and clip farming, and you all you have to do is just like put the title, and many people will just scroll past and start talking about something without even looking very deeply into it. So people know this. They're basically just trying to bully you into agreeing with them, or not standing your ground. But one of my first points for this video was, it's very interesting how this woman seems to not really understand the meaning for the term mulatto, and understand that when people are saying that term, they're not like, you're bringing desirability into a place where it doesn't even belong. That was a word more so focused on identity. Like mulatto does not really have the same connotation as like light-skinned baddie. Like what? She's calling herself a light-skinned baddie. Like, no, she's more so talking about her experience of being between two worlds and the unique identity struggles that she has had on both sides of her family when it comes to her phenotype and whatnot. And it just goes to show that, that's something that makes sense to me. But I guess people, if they're different phenotypes, they have a different cultural background, they won't understand the context of how it's not derogatory. Sometimes people are just looking to be offended when somebody is not they're not intending to be offensive. And it's really hard to social climb if you're always getting offended by people, because you could be around, a certain circle, and the way they talk, you're going to take it to mean something. And that's not even what they're trying to say. They're just like many people use, the term mulatto and the term, like mixed, as far as like black, white, mixed, 50-50, pretty interchangeably. And they don't mean it in any sort of derogatory way. They don't mean it in any sort of like pedestalizing way. They're just using it in a descriptive way. It's like, I remember growing up watching, they have this celebrity game night or something where they're trying to guess the name of a celebrity. And I used to be so frustrated when it would be like a white celebrity and the person that they're trying to give clues on is somebody who's black. And it's like the person who's guessing is so way off base. And people feel so weird about, saying race when it's just a descriptive thing. It's like, no, he is black. No, he is dark skinned. No, he like you're not calling him the hard ER like slur. You're just saying what he looks like, and you're going to win the game or not win the game based on your level of comfort with just giving descriptive language. But moving on to my second point, it's so interesting that there has been so much backlash that Latto and Doja Cat are receiving for putting money in the pockets of black men. That's so interesting, because I see so often that unambiguous dark-skinned monoracial black women will talk about their divestment or their divesting journeys as some sort of reallocation of resources, or some sort of taking resources from the white community via like being with a provider white husband, and then bringing it back to the black community because, then they're going to have black children. The children are going to be black because the mom is black, and, or that's what they say. I'm not saying that I subscribe to that belief, but it's very interesting that they don't see the same. Like, why would it not be the same thing if you have biracial women who are half white, then putting money in the pockets by allowing these I'm assuming fully black, black backup dancers to have a job? Like, isn't that the same thing? Like giving money back to the black community? Why is that a problem? But I thought that this point was so interesting that this creator made, basically saying that, backup dancers must only be the same race as the artist type. Like, I didn't really understand the relevancy of her bringing up that Doja Cat dates white men. So Doja Cat dates white men. So therefore, if she's going to be on a song, she cannot have black males be her backup dancers. That doesn't make sense to me. And I would like to also argue that if she were to do that, say, no, I like white boys, so it has to be all white boys dancing, wouldn't people still say that that was colorist or that was racist then? Like, oh, so y'all didn't have no chocolate. Y'all couldn't hire any chocolate. They trip me out with this. But I I also don't like this infantilization of black men. Like, I think it's weird. You're acting like they are these defenseless little babies who are incapable of turning down work. Like, if they feel that the work is demeaning, then don't do it. But I think what a lot of these creators have a problem admitting is that they probably don't have an issue sweating and gyrating all up on Latto and Doja Cat because they're fine. They look amazing. And they may also just enjoy being employed. They may enjoy paying their bills. They may enjoy expressing their talents. You know, the dancers, I'm sure I've seen a few clips. They seem very talented and everything. So they're supposed to say, you know what? I don't want to pay my bills because I don't want to dance in a biracial music video. And I also thought it was so interesting how this woman is over here talking about biracial body rolls. And it's so funny how she can say words like that, but like, would it be like colorist or racist if I were to point out her like nigga naps hanging out of her bonnet over here? Like, that's so interesting because, like, I don't know. I don't like when things only go one way when it comes to language. I always feel like, let's keep that same energy. Let's have the same smoke. But I also want to make, I already made that point. I'm looking at my notes right here. I was going to say, like, they're mad that the men want to do it. But, like, yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. It's like they're mad that these men want to do this work, and they probably enjoyed working for these women, and they probably enjoyed being on set, and they probably enjoyed getting to dance in close proximity with them. And, you know, it seems like a contract that both parties are okay with. I don't think the black men bogarted their way onto the sets and demanded that they work there. I don't think that, you know, Doja Cat and Latto just colonized these men and went and picked them up and stuck them on a boat and said, you're gonna dance for us. You're gonna be in our music video and you're gonna look like you're uplifting our light skin. Like, they were not forced. They were not in chains. Like, they answered the call. The call was put out and they answered the call. So I don't understand the issue with that. But I also wanted, like, to piggyback off of my point about how it didn't really make sense, how the creator is saying that Doja Cat doesn't date black men. And so black men, somehow it was off to her that they were the backup dancers in the video. I will also make the point that when it comes to music and artistry, like, first of all, Doja Cat is extremely talented, that anytime she features on a song, it kind of basically becomes her song because that is the type of artist that she is. But it's still Latto's album. Like, you think Doja Cat just came on the set, or you feel like she's supposed to come on the set and be like, hey girl, thank you so much for hitting me up so we can do this collaboration. You know, I just have some notes for you. I see this, I see you've hired everybody, you know, I see the creative direction you want to take this in. I actually don't date black men. So can you fire all the black male backup dancers? Like, what are you talking about? I don't even, like, and that just goes to show sometimes people just want to be mad at somebody. People just don't like Doja Cat for their reasons, and so it just casts an entire light over anything that she says or does. But wouldn't that also be colorist? Like, or wouldn't you also try to call that racist if she said fire them all? Like, but I'd argue that she doesn't even have the power to. Like, for the most part, you know, at least many people, they just don't understand the way that music works. And when it comes to a feature, at least in my viewpoint, it is somebody who's, you know, it's the main artist. They're saying, yes, I want to highlight this other artist, show them in their best light. You know, I want you to just really, you know, do whatever. But if it's on their album, it's a part of an entire body of work, which whatever the theme is of her album, I saw somebody said it's like a love album to that British man or to 21 Savage or whatever. Okay, so if that's what it is, why would Doja Cat get to come in and say, you know, Latto, this is your love letter album to your man who is a dark-skinned, unambiguous, monoracial black man. I believe he's monoracial. And you cast backup dancers that like kind of fit his phenotype similarly enough. but fire them. And I want the backup dancers on your album's music video to look like my preference and who I date. Like, I was just really stuck on that for whatever reason. But, you know, I don't understand how it's colorist to give jobs to black men. I will say, though, I did think that black women were done caping for black men. I thought they were. So it is very confusing to me to see all of these women coming out in droves, basically not understanding. I thought it was don't save him because he don't want to be saved. Like, look at these men. They don't want to be saved. They're fine. They are okay. They're over here talking about how they got to stay focused and everything because, you know, they are so tempted by the biracial body rolls. I just think it's so funny that they brought, like, you just get to see how they pedestalize the exotical community because you're basically trying to say that her body rolls are like extra enticing because they're biracial body rolls. It's like, you need to take that up with your own therapist. You need to take that up with, you know, your own mental self, whatever that is. Me personally, I'm a big believer in journaling. That's why you can always go down in my channel description and whatnot. If you go up there, I have, you know, it's a printable journal so you can work on your mindset and level up and not be dusty like the women who are over here in bonnets talking about women who are employed and, you know, making their money. It's really crazy to be talking about women who are making money while you're not making money yourself. Or I'm not saying that if you're on social media, on TikTok in a bonnet, that you're not making money, but I would like to say it's probably not enough if you're that pressed over this. Maybe make more money and be less mad that people are staying employed. Like, I don't know. I just feel like black men can definitely fight their own battles. And especially if they're like this comment, let me pull this up that I screenshotted where this man is like, this is interesting. What do you think you dislike more? That black men in general are involved? That specifically them being dark skinned bothers you? Or them, Doja and Latto, being light skinned? He's basically saying, like, are you just bothered because they're light skinned? Are you just bothered because you're bothered by black men in general? You know, are you bothered specifically because they're dark skinned black men? You know, and he's also saying, I know Doja doesn't go for dark-skinned guys, but I would think her including dark-skinned men and helping them get work could be seen as a progress and her growth, which I don't like the idea that if she has a preference for dating somebody who literally looks like half of her family members. So it's like half familiar to her or fully familiar to her, that somehow would be, you know, something that she needs to make progress on or evolve out of, especially because when it comes to dating, it really just comes down to people's their seduction style and their way of kind of connecting with a partner. Not everybody wants to communicate or flirt in the same way. Not everybody, you know, I want to find that clip that I referenced sometime of that guy who's maybe I'll find it before I put this up, talking about how, oh, you know, he can't resist dating light-skinned women, but they're so crazy and everything. And it's like, it's always like, don't save him. He doesn't want to be saved. He's fine. He's okay. He loves it there. He's going to be fine. And I just think it's time for black women. I also agree that they should drop the cape, because when they're caping, you know, and they're throwing exoticals under the bus, I'm like, okay, you could take the cape off now. Like, I thought y'all took it off years ago. I really thought you did. But what do you think about this, worldies? Do you feel like this music video was colorist? Do you feel like it's colorist to give jobs to dark-skinned black men? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.